Alright, welcome back, FanDuelers, for the Week 10 preview of Grade A Fantasy, or for the FanDuel slate on Sunday. Week 10 is here, so let's get it going. Another exciting slate. I definitely like this 10 gamer. Gonna be very interesting. A lot of different ways you can go. Some value opening up. Some news are finally coming up. I was waiting for like the real official Thursday practice to see some news pop up, and a lot of interesting developments. But I think we need to just get it started here. Okay, so the bottom line is, I am normally the guy for the past couple of years to say like, hey, I do not pay up for defense. I am not doing it. But the whole fantasy industry is paying up for the Dallas Cowboys. They got 30 on a healthy Giants team. Let's just click on the Cowboys, okay? And if we go to their game log, let's just scroll all the way to the beginning of the year. A healthy Giants defense. 7 sacks, 2 interceptions, touchdown, 2 2 defensive touchdowns. And I mean, it's hard not to just not go with them. You have to kind of go with them. It's something that you're just expected to do. Giants literally are not a team that's coming out there, and this is crazy because now I think it's the first time ever that it's a slate where you have to try and differentiate, like, fading a defense. Like, it's just that amazing that you actually have to think about finding leverage on a defense who has the possibility to score. Who has the possibility to at least score if the Giants could somehow make it a game and put some points on the board and not fully turn the ball over. It's something very unique, but hey, I'm here to give you some options. Now, obviously, here's another thing. FanDuel was not expecting Kyler Murray to come back, so Atlanta should not be that high. That's a fade. I don't think anybody's going to take that unless, the 2.3.4% of people that decide, hey, Kyler Murray's rusty. He'll probably take it easy on that knee, not scramble too much, and maybe pick Kyler Murray off. Kyler Murray was a little bit turnover prone last year, and especially going into the year before. So, but that's definitely a misprice. Atlanta should be like in the mid fours, closer to 3,900 than the 48 they are. The Baltimore Cleveland game could be a slugfest, but Baltimore definitely seems to be the type that could maybe turn over Deshaun Watson, but that seems to be more of an ugly, low-scoring game. So that's one of those. Okay, Baltimore's somewhere in the category of maybe keeping 8 to 9 points and maybe getting 12 to 13 points. But the first team that I definitely see that's a possibility that can outscore. I mean, this is just crazy. We're talking about leverage and outscoring on defense. I think Seattle has it. Seattle, kind of like Detroit, a defense that I trust more at home and the road. Washington, if you think Daniel Jones get his ass kicked, the Redskins offensive line has given up the most sacks. So Sam Howell will be prone to some pressure, interceptions. Seattle could definitely behind that 12th man cause some issues. I think if you want to get away from that Dallas leverage and most importantly save $700 that you could put somewhere else at another position, Seattle is the place to go. They definitely have the potential. I mean, like I said, this is a defense or whatever, so they have the potential to really put some points on the board. But like I said, you got to count on the Giants defense to at least put some points on the board, like a touchdown, a field goal, and not give up too many turnovers, and definitely not give up the pick six. They definitely can't do that. If the Cowboys come out and get like a decent amount of sacks, maybe a fumble recovery here and an interception, it will be fine. But when you're 52, you're guaranteed either you need that kind of Seattle game where they just literally sack the Giants 7-8 times in one night with other turnovers and things. But yeah, you're definitely garnering for that TD and that pick six. But Seattle definitely seems to be the way to go. Like I said, the sack value is there. The interceptions are there. Even though yes, Seattle's back four isn't the best. They're not. I don't think they're as weak as like Tampa Bay, Washington, or Tennessee. But I think that's the best way to get off that Dallas leverage because Dallas is definitely going to be popular. The only way you're not picking Dallas is like, hey, that 5,200 kind of hinders your lineup, and you're looking at it like, hey, I might want to pay down because I want to get this guy and I want to fit in this tight end and all this other stuff. So, other than that, other good defensive options. But like I said, to me, that's my favorite pick to get off the Dallas leverage, but most importantly, outscore. The Dallas. Well, not outscore, but at least put a little pressure. Put a little pressure on those people who are going to pay up to 5,200 for the Dallas defense. As we continue going down, like I said, Cleveland. That's gonna be more of an ugly game. San Francisco's an interesting option. Yes, the defense has been a little porous lately, but Jacksonville's a solid team, not a dominant team. So, Bosa could get to Trevor Lawrence and get a pick and some sacks, maybe a strip sack fumble, things like that there. Green Bay versus Pittsburgh, that's an option on the road, but I actually like Pittsburgh being at home. Tennessee has some opportunity to pick off Baker Mayfield and get some pressure on Mayfield. But yeah, I definitely will be. This is definitely a week I won't be paying that far down. If you ask me, if there's anything that I would want to do, LA at home is interesting. Like I said, that Charger defense has been getting a little bit better. They've been playing better, and they're at home, so I think that's the lowest I'll go is 3,500 with them. Other options, like I said, Tennessee has the capabilities to sack Mayfield and get some interceptions. Let me see who else, and then yeah, Pittsburgh. I do like Pittsburgh. Like I said, I don't really have faith. Besides, Jordan Love playing it safe and giving it to Aaron Jones a bunch of times. Maybe T.J. Watt could come up with a big play, or maybe one of the linebackers could come up with a big play and pick off Jordan Love for a pick six. That's also potential, but all reality, majority of the DFS world will be paying up for the Dallas defense. As we dip into quarterback, more than likely the game of the week, and a lot of people be looking forward to it. Justin Herbert is at 8,500, and that's another good thing about it too. With some of the big dogs off, not playing, yes, there will be some expensive stacks still, but none of the quarterbacks are 9,000. None of the quarterbacks are even 8,700. We start at 85, so the pricing is very interesting here. Other big plays, like I said, Joe Burrow in that home match against Houston. That's a game that a lot of people are also looking forward to. He's at 82. Dak, if we look back at that Giants game, like I said, blowout run, it's something to worry about. The blowout run is something to worry about. He only had 6.3 points. He did not have to do much at all in that game. So what you're hoping is by halftime or mid-third, he at least has, he doesn't run as much anymore, but you're at least hoping for Dak. Luckily, Dak is not all the way priced up. So 8,100, you hope that Dak could get at least 2 touchdown passes, at least with some decent yardage. Maybe hit CeeDee Lamb deep, maybe gets Tony Pollard on a screen. But the blowout run, you're gonna have to worry about that. You're definitely gonna have to worry about that. Jared Goff, like I said, against Los Angeles. Like I said, a lot of people do. It's understandable. Like I said, they're an up-and-coming team, but right now, Detroit still has that stigma of being a better home than a road team. But like I said, that's still going to be an interesting game. He's still definitely worth a look at 8,000. Once again, the talk of the town, C.J. Stroud, 7,700. I thought he was going to get priced up to at least 79. So those stacks for Houston are still viable. Like I said, Kyler Murray's back against an Atlanta offense. It's going to be interesting. I'm definitely going to want to play Kyler Murray. I've had him help me cash well in the past. I'm glad he's back healthy, looks strong. I'm definitely going to get back to him in my favorite contest, the 25 max. Also, shout out to FanDuel. The $3 25 max is now up to 20K. So good job, FanDuel, for making that contest even more interesting. Two guys that I definitely want to get to: Brock Purdy. That defense is not great. I think Brock Purdy is in the capability of having a is in the capabilities of having a great game. I think his upside is being very underrated. I think he can get some Christian. I think he can definitely get some Christian McCaffrey screen, get it to Kittle, Debo and company. I think Brock Purdy's in for a big day. I think he's gonna come in at low ownership. Hey man, Joshua Dobbs, I love you, bro. I highly respect you. You don't even know the cadences. You don't even know the name of the guys on your team. If anything, you definitely got a job for life as a backup. You will be a lifer. Enjoy getting that check when you step in. I know you're going to produce. Congrats on that great comeback. You've been playing well in Arizona and Minnesota. Will I get to him a lot? New Orleans is a tough defense, but Minnesota's at home, like I said. So, and he has another week under his belt. I never thought he was going to get Justin Jefferson back. There is no reason to rush him back. Like I said, Minnesota is kind of in the playoff run, yes, with their record. But I think what are they? I think Minnesota's 5-4, if I'm not mistaken. So no need to rush Justin Jefferson yet. But I think Justin Jefferson is on trend to come back next week. But this week, no, I don't think he should be activated. I don't think they're going to activate him at all. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence down to 7,100, but it's an interesting play because if that San Francisco defense is still struggling, 7,100, those stacks are very affordable at 7,100. With a 7,100 Trevor Lawrence stack on with ETN, and you have your choice of any of those wide receivers, and even Ingram, the tight end. Taylor Heineke, he has a nice matchup. Gladly, he gets Drake London back. Drake London is fully healthy from his hamstring. Drake London is fully healthy from the hamstrings. The Taylor Heineke stacks are going to look real good. And yes, I think if I'm going down this low, you definitely have two great options in Geno Smith going against a bad pass defense. And then you got Will Levis. He's a gunslinger, and he's going against another poor pass defense. So paying low for these stacks, definitely viable. 69 and 6,800 for those two. And once again, I did like the way my lineups looked last week when they was going against Houston. So do not knock Baker Mayfield this week. He's going against a porous defense as well. Well, pass defense anyway. And with his weapons, Rashad White, Godwin, Evans, and he's also starting to develop an inside the 10, inside the 5 relationship with Kate Iden. I really like that play as well. If we go to running back, Christian McCaffrey is always going to look good, especially against that Jacksonville defense. 10-5, worth every penny. Austin Eckler home against Detroit, he's also worth every penny. But hey, it is a big big discount, 1,500. So definitely Christian McCaffrey, definitely trying to work him in there. I don't think he's going to be as popular as other weeks, but saving 1,500. Saving damn near 1,700 Alvin Kamara against Minnesota. Man, but the Travis Etienne, like I said, that at least it's the front 7 that's still pretty good. It's the back 4 of San Francisco that's been struggling lately. But Travis Etienne is always a look. Jahmyr Gibbs, but like I said, if Montgomery is fully ready to go with no setbacks, definitely will be lowering my Jahmyr Gibbs, ownership. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see if there's any setbacks. We'll see. Definitely something to monitor. Kenneth Walker against Washington. Normally that's not something you'll go with, but I think he's going to go under-owned with a lot of stuff that's going around. And like I said, Washington got a lot weaker. Kenneth Walker's definitely going to be. I think he's a solid GPP play. Y'all have heard me talk about Rashad White all year. The volume is there. He's definitely worth every penny as well at 7,000. When you have Green Bay at Pittsburgh, now it's a deep. Pittsburgh is not the most amazing defense now, obviously with T.J. Watt making a big play here and there. But Aaron Jones, the news on Aaron Jones, it seems like he's fully off the hamstring. He's looking even stronger. So if he could finally get the full workload, then yeah, Aaron Jones is playable at 68. But if he's still being like on a limit run restriction kind of thing and can't get the full load, and they're sharing it with he's sharing it with Corey Dillon and Patrick Williams. I think he'll be another fade for me. I didn't have any of him last week. Like I said, he was still kind of in the. He's playable, but not fully healthy. Let's not strain him and have any setbacks. If he's a full go, then yes. If he's still on the restriction, and not only does he share the backfield, but if he's on the restriction and shares the backfield, that's two double negatives for me. I'll stay away from that. Bijan, man, I don't know what that organization and that coach is doing with you, man. But I'm still gonna take a few cracks at Bijan. He's down to 66, very viable. Najee Harris is viable against, like I said, Green Bay's a defense that you could definitely run against, and Najee is at 65. And if we keep going down here, Dameon Pierce with the ankle, we're gonna have to monitor that as the week goes on. I don't know if I'm gonna get to Devin Singletary even if Dameon Pierce is out, but it is a better running matchup. I honestly don't know why the hype was on Devin Singletary last week. That wasn't the best matchup for him to play in. You know me about that Tampa Bay defense. He was a total fade for me, and I'm glad I did that. He was somewhat decently owned in the 25 max contest that I was in. Other than that, other GPP plays, maybe Tyler Algier gets some goal line plays. Off Bijan, he's still getting the carries, guys. I mean, if you look at the game log, this is not nothing to not look at. He's getting the carries. He's involved, and every now and then they've thrown the ball. So Tyler Algier, definitely a GPP play off Bijan. I don't even think it will be a GPP play. It would just be a GPP play just in general, not even off Bijan, because I think a lot of that Bijan hype is starting to wane seriously. After that, there's not really much I will go down here. Like I said, A.J. Dillon still getting the carries. Like I said, in that game back, he still got 9 for 40. He's still getting pass receptions in the last 2 games. So also got to monitor that. But once again, if Aaron Jones is a full go, with him being the great combo back that he is, I will definitely have a piece of him once again. Anything down here, you're pretty much throwing darts. Antonio Gibson, definitely viable, because that's a game that could possibly shoot out if both teams, if for one they could protect Sam Howell, and Sam Howell can get some passes deep against that suspect secondary. But like I said, Antonio Gibson is their receiving back. He can get some passes out the backfield. If we look at the wide receiver is definitely interesting. Jamar Chase, like I said, I think he still plays. I think he's just going to get a lot of treatment, a lot of electro stimulus on that back. I think he does play with the Cincinnati issue, though. Higgins won't play. When you get a setback like that and you hurt your hamstring in the middle of the week, you're not playing. So obviously, Jamar Chase, like I said, I think Chase plays. Tyler Boyd goes up. But the guy you need to watch out for is GPP status. He's still not going to garner any ownership, but I think you definitely need to take a look at him. Trenton Irwin, he's normally the guy that steps in. When one of the trio of Cincinnati gets hurt. So definitely he's normally the first guy there. As you can see, those games earlier when like Chase was hurt and Boyd was hurt, he does get those opportunities. Had a 4,800, had a 8 for 60, 10 fantasy points. So, And then, like I said, he goes in there for spells, when guys run deep routes, when they need a break. But I definitely like Trent Irwin this week. But that's a pure GPP play. Not saying to like fully load up on him, but it's a name that you should not forget. Once again, CeeDee Lamb, you got to worry about the blowout run. I just mentioned Keenan Allen. He's going to be the main target, as always, along with Eckler. Always, they're all worth their prices. Chase 93, Allen 9,000, CeeDee Lamb 89. Brandon Ayuk, I think, is definitely worth a look. Mike Evans, he has the capability. Look, the Buccaneers wide receiver has the potential to break the slate, especially Mike Evans. Mike Evans is due for one of those slate breaking weeks that he's had. He at least has one or two of them every year. I think this is the week that he could get there with the deep threat and beating Tennessee deep. The only thing better for Mike Evans was if he would have been playing Washington. Chris Olave at 74. Metcalf with the hip, but I think he plays at 73. Both him and Lockett have the potential to break sleep because they get Washington and they're at home. Metcalf at 73. If I remember properly doing my research, if I keep scrolling before seeing it, I think Lockett 68 or 67. 68, there you go. So definitely doable double stacks there. DeAndre Hopkins, he's definitely viable. The popularity is going to be there, but at least he's probably going to be somewhat more affordable than some of those guys on top at 71. Maybe doing this, like if you was going to do a Seattle stack to attack Washington, you could do Geno, Metcalf, and Hopkins, or to save a little bit of money, Geno, Hopkins, and Lockett. You could do something like that. I like a lot of the guys at the 7,000 range. Like I said, Debo at 7 with his multi-purpose use. He's viable for a slate breaking week. Other big notes, Nico Collins is nursing a calf, but I think he still plays. And then also Robin Woods. We still got to worry about Robin Woods along with Nico Collins. If Robin Woods is back, then you definitely got to hold on to the brakes for Noah Brown. But if any of these guys, if Robin Woods is out again, Noah Brown's a full play. Let's get into the Houston Texans real quick. So Nico Collins with the calf. Tank Dell regardless is going to be there. He's going to see his run. But Noah Brown needs to see if at least one of these guys are out. Because if both of them are somehow out, now you're looking at Tank Dell, Noah Brown, and then John Mechie III. And then of course Justin Schultz, the tight end, definitely looking for way more looks. So definitely an interesting situation in Houston. But like I said, I think Nico probably gets arrested, then we'll see how it goes. Well, like I said, anything could develop. The Robin Woods issue, he's been out for a couple of weeks. I think he's made progress with the foot, so that's why it's up in the air. It's not a. Honestly, if you ask me what happens, I think both end up being cleared and play, which will definitely knock down Noah Brown. But if both are out somehow, the wide receiver pool will be now Tank Dell, Noah Brown still one. It'll be Tank Dell on the left, John Mechie on the right, and Noah Brown will still continue running the slot with help inside from Justin Schultz, the tight end. As we continue with the wide receivers, let's get the Texans out of here and keep going down. Scary Terry at 68. You just got to hope he gets the targets. Like I said, Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, those two guys are together. Why? I think it's a smart thing. Both at 67. Like I said, and I told you that the Jaguar stack is going to be pretty reasonable. You can get it done. Trevor Lawrence is 71. So it'll be what? It's less than 20,000 to get those three together, and then that's still 40 of your budget with the salary cap. So make it work, fellas. Make it work. Remember, don't overlook it and think the San Francisco defense is bad. The front seven is still fine. It's the back four that's been giving up the plays. Marquise Brown is definitely going to be looked at. His ownership is going to skyrocket with Colin Murray back. Drake London, I'm happy he's back. One of my favorite wide receivers. I love that young kid. He's a solid kid. Solid kid. He's gonna have a. He's gonna have a. He's gonna have a. I think he has a solid boost in production, especially with Taylor Heineke as his quarterback. Like I said, Chris Godwin against Tennessee. If we take a look here, like I said, he hasn't had much run with Heineke, but he was still doing this with Desmond Ridder. Eight targets, 6 targets, 7, 9, 12. He's gonna get the targets. He's gonna get the targets. Receptions 5, 6, 9, 6, 3, 2, 6. So if we all consider Taylor Heineke an upgrade, the upside for Drake London against Arizona is there. So I'm liking Drake London a lot this week. Like I said, Chris Godwin with the Tennessee matchup. And as we keep going down, Jahan Dotson, Tyler Boyd, we already went over that. Like I said, look out for him and Trent Irwin. We'll have to wait for more developments from Washington. Don't forget Josh Reynolds. Everybody just talks about Amon-Ra St. Brown. Josh Reynolds has had a solid supporting season, and he could also get over the top. They're susceptible to that. Even though the defense has been playing better. It's not like they're weak, but they can be susceptible to the deep throws. Like I said, they'll probably try to run double coverage, one up top, one man, one up top to run on Amon-Ra St. Brown, which leaves Josh Reynolds and Sam Laporta with single coverage on the second and third cornerbacks, and obviously with Laporta running past linebackers and then getting guarded up by their opposing strong or free safety, depending on the side that Laporta runs on. Curtis Samuel got to watch out for the toe. Rashid Shaheed, Quentin Johnson, he's definitely worth a look because he's gonna get the. I mean, it was an ugly game against the Jets. They didn't need to throw it like that. They really didn't. But I think Quentin Johnson is definitely worth a look. He'll definitely be in some of my lineups. After Joshua Palmer's on the IR, so a nice $5,900 price for him. Michael Thomas, 58, is just. It's not that you don't like Michael Thomas. It's just that we all don't really like the quarterback that he's throwing to. We don't know how to read him, so it's one of those GPP plays. I think he comes in low owned because you're not going to know. Jackson and Jigba, he's definitely going to be worth it at 56 because, I mean, three capable, talented wide receivers against a bad secondary. Why not? Why not take a flyer on a cheap guy? And if he can at least get the touchdown, hey, he makes his salary, and then you move on with the rest of your lineup. As we keep going down, Jawan Jennings, I think it's worth taking a flyer on him. Karel Hodge could get a little bit of looks, but his usage will dumb down a bit now with the return of Drake London. Nick Westbrook-Ikine is definitely somebody you can look for. We already talked about Noah Brown, Jameson Crowder out here as well with Washington. Westbrook-Ikine in the last 2 games, he hasn't seen much, but he's more of a big play guy. So that one look against, once again, he's going against Tampa Bay. Nick Westbrook-Ikine, and please remember this. There's little intricacies to this too. Well, I've said, oh yeah, Tampa Bay's bad, and this team is bad. Okay, there's differences. Washington is bad over the top. Tampa Bay is just bad overall, but their main weakness is the slot. Nick Westbrook-Ikine does move around a bit. If he can get some matchups in the slot, like Noah Brown did last week, be prepared for that. Remember, Tampa Bay is the weakest at the slot. As we keep going down here, GPP plays, you can see if Michael Gallup can get a touchdown. That's possible. A lot of people hurt here. Jalen Guyton's another GPP. He's going to get more looks. Like I said, with Joshua Palmer, it's pretty much next man up when they run 3 and 4 wide receiver outs. So, yeah, pretty interesting here. Pretty interesting developments. Trying to give you the main guys and also the GPP plays you might want to look out for. And as we get the tight end to finish up the episode, once again, no Kelsey, so Mark Andrews, 7,300. Taysom Hill, because of the game he had last week, do it at your own risk at 7,000. You got Hawkinson at 66. Laporte I'm going to definitely like at 65. Kittle, 63. Schultz, he's finally over 6,000. He's been playing well on a hot streak. Cincinnati, the worst against the tight end. I thought it was actually the Raiders, but it's actually Dalton. It's actually Dalton Schultz pulls the best matchup. Jake Ferguson has been hot. I've been playing him for a cheap tight end, and he's been paying off the past couple of weeks. He's getting even more looks during drives between the 20s, but when it gets inside that 10 and you see that play fake to Tony Pollard, if he doesn't see CeeDee Lamb right away, I've watched a few Cowboys games, and the pattern is he looked for CeeDee first, Jake Ferguson is the second read. So not only is he targeted, but after CeeDee's fade doesn't look comfortable, he's going to look for Jake Ferguson over the middle. He looks for him over the 10. As the drive goes between the 20s, he's getting those looks as well. Jake Ferguson is that next low-price tight end from 2-3 weeks ago. He's next in line to be a $6,000 tight end. I'm glad I got to the party when I did, because sooner or later, people like Ferguson and Schultz won't be those cheap options anymore. They're just going to be considerably priced. I'm not saying they're going to get to Andrews or Kelsey or anything like that, or even maybe Hawkinson. The way Schultz is playing, Ferguson could possibly get there, but Schultz could definitely get to a Hawkinson level kind of price, like 66, close to 7,000. The way he's targeted. Other options, Jonnu Smith, he's been a target monster the last couple of weeks. It's just been pretty crazy. 6'5" and 100. Then he has these other games where he just targeted, and that was by Ritter. This game was by Heineke. So you should definitely not feel hesitant to click on Jonnu Smith's name. He has been getting the targets in the 10 and 20. It just sucks that, at the cost of that, he's just negating Kyle Pitts, which is why he's above Kyle Pitts as I'm scrolling down. From Heineke last week, he had 5 targets, 4 for 56, but like I said, for some reason, it's just Jonnu in that offense, which is why everybody hates the coach. Logan Thomas is also an option. Cade Otton has been, if I scroll down and look at the game log from what it looked like in the beginning of the season, okay, he was getting targets, but now as it comes down, touchdown, and consistently 6 to 9 targets consistently, and there you go, 2 TDs that last game. So ever since week 4, I mean he was getting a little bit targeted, but ever since week 4, he has just taken off and been very comfortable with Baker. He's another one you got to watch from inside the 20s, from inside the 20 and the 15, and then he gets that goal line look when there's that play fake to Rachaad White. Donald Parham, a GBP player under he'll definitely be looking like a GBP play around Everett. I like Everett, man. He's just not getting the ball thrown to him like that. But once again, I said it before. If you remember some of the episodes, it's like taking notes with me. The reason why Everett is under him is because for some reason, Everett gets subbed out after the drive is made and they get into the red zone. You might see Everett somewhere in between the 20 and let's say they hit a big play to the 5. The minute they get, I don't know what it is, but the minute they get into the 10-yard line, especially the 5-yard line, Donald Parham gets subbed in, and he's in there for all 4 plays. If they don't make it, it's going to a field goal. The red zone percentage is literally ridiculous. If I was to take a guess, the tight end uses in the red zone, because like I said, Everett is in there because technically the red zone is the 20, not the 10. But I'm willing to say it's like a 65-35 split between these two. And that's the reason why Donald Parham is at 52 and Jared Evans at 5,000. Either one is GBP plays, but hey, you ask me who I'm going to take, I'm going to take Everett. As you can see here, Donald Parham, like I said, not that many targets, but he's just a red zone guy. And yet he has 4 touchdowns this year. You wouldn't even thought he has 4 touchdowns. We all know the type of target Gerald Everett is and the type of talent he is. But as you can see here, 2 touchdowns all year. And you can see there's times where he doesn't get targeted or he just gets two targets. So just be wary of that when you're looking for that cheap tight end if you decide to go down that far. Other than that, with the injuries, you can also look at Irv Smith for Cincinnati. Juwan Johnson caught a touchdown last week. Chickakongwu against Tampa Bay is also an option. And you can also look at Noah Fant for Seattle. And I think that's the Connor Haywood thing is still a thing. You know, Freiermuth is still out. I took a couple of shots and it hasn't really paid off for me. But like I said, 4,500. He gets the goal line look, or if he gets like a few, like he does a 4 for 35 kind of day, 4 for 44 yards or something like that, then hey, he pays off and then you just go off from there. 4,500 tight end. What else can you do with your lineup this week? You understand what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's pretty much it with the review. Wrapped it up pretty quick. Got detailed into some GPP plays, into some guys on the bench that you need to look out for. More than likely, I'll probably do a prize picks video with the new players that are up now that the Thursday night game is over. And I hope you liked the episode. Good luck this weekend building your lineups. Good luck this Sunday. Once again, I'll be in multiple contests, single entries. The 25 max got boosted to 20K, just under 40,000 entries in that one. So looking forward to that. This is Grade A Fantasy. Good luck this weekend. Tomorrow, Prize Picks video part 2. This is Grade A Fantasy with the Week 10 preview. Signing off.